Welcome into a special edition of the Swamp 247 podcast. We call these the commitment breakdowns. I'm joined by Swamp 247 recruiting analyst Blake Alderman. My name's Jacob Rudner. And Blake, Florida just got a commitment from four-star cornerback Jakeem Jackson. And I'm going to basically just leave it to you here to kind of break down what the Gators are getting in this commitment, boost for the class, and a start to what we expect to be a pretty busy week for them on the recruiting front.
I really don't have, anything bad to say about this, commitment. I think that this is a guy with a ton of high upside. And I think that a lot of what you like to see is the fact that this guy landed a lot of his offers. He had some offers, but he saw a slew of offers come in the spring after schools were able to go out to spring practices, watch him, practice, see his speed, how he moves, all those types of things. So you really like a lot of those kind of in-person evaluation offers. I think that really shows that, this was a guy that, really has a lot of high upside. And, that this isn't a guy that just got an offer just because, X, Y, and Z offered. This is one where schools went out and actually evaluated him, really liked what they saw, came away impressed, and pulled the trigger with an offer. So, I think that really kind of kicked things off in the spring for him. He landed a lot of offers. Florida was one where it kind of came in the tail end of the spring. They did see him live a couple times. They went twice by there to see him in the spring. I think that a lot of credit needs to be given to Florida's area recruiter, tight ends coach for that area, William Piegler. He kind of got things rolling with this one for Florida. He went out and saw Jackson, kind of got things going back to where things were relayed back to the coaching staff. Then more coaches. I think Patrick Toney was the second one who came out there to see him. Corey Raymond, really kind of watched some of the clips, because coaches come out and they video guys and they bring it back and they talk about it and evaluate that. So from those two guys and Piegler and Toney going to see those, Jackson out there at Osceola during their practices, kind of got those things relayed to Corey Raymond. Billy Napier extend the offer. Really was high on Florida after getting that offer, has some family that like Florida. He kind of grew up watching them, being an in-state guy for Florida. And I think it was shortly after the offer, he came and took a visit to Florida, came back again in June for another visit and was able to camp with Corey Raymond. And this was a guy that really just blew the coaching staff away with what his upside is. They really like how fast he is. They like his frame. They like, how he attacks the ball. So they actually graded him out as like a future all-conference type of player. So that's a guy that they really have a high regard on, kind of once they got the evaluation done and they saw him in camp, they really started to turn up the heat considerably on him. Really liked him a lot, wanted to keep him home, and they've done that. I think that one of the things that's the most impressive for him is this is a guy that was a wide receiver up until last year. He got snaps at both wide receiver and cornerback. Even on the wide receiver position, he caught 36 passes for 548 yards, 4 touchdowns. And in only 4 games on defense, switching over to defense in 4 games, he had 3 interceptions. So you've got a guy that is a former pass catcher that knows how to attack the ball, is really, fluid in his movements, has a good frame, but, has the mindset of being a wide receiver to, see ball, get ball. So I think that that's a guy that, has a high upside there, is still kind of learning the position as far as, cornerback. And he has a chance to work with one of the best in the game, Corey Raymond. So, I think that this is a guy that, his better playing years are ahead of him. And it's a guy that's already highly regarded as far as rankings, on 247 Sports composite rankings, which averages from all the, industry ratings out there. This is the number 168 guy. He's the number 19 ranked cornerback, And that's a guy that has only played cornerback for 4 games as far as, legitimately on the field tape, prep level, has only played 4 games. So I think his upside is insane. I think that he's going to continue to build off of a great senior year and is a guy that can continue to rise up the rankings. So again, nothing but good things to say about this addition for Florida.
Sure, and I'll give everybody kind of the statistics on this one. Jackson on the 247 Sports composite. So again, that's the industry-generated 247 Sports rankings. It takes into account all of the recruiting services that put together rankings. He is ranked 168th in the class, so top 200 guy, number 19 among corners and number 37 in Florida, a 4-star prospect on the composite, as is he on the independent 247 Sports player ranking. So again, that's the rankings just from 247 Sports alone. 195th overall, so slightly lower, just 2 spots lower among cornerbacks at 21 and number 45 in the state of Florida. I'll also add that he is the second cornerback commit in the Gators 2023 class. He joined Sharif Denson Aaron Gates, an athlete, is projected to safety, so the third overall defensive back. And Jackson ranks third among Florida commits at the moment. We expect that potentially to change. If you want to know why, you can listen to our previous podcast about recruiting, which you and I recorded as well this week. This is a pretty solid recruiting bump for the Gators. They're climbing up in the rankings. Big opportunity. What do you think this does for them in terms of momentum? I know, like I just said, we expect some other things to happen now.
Yeah, Florida's got a bunch of targets that have decision dates this week that we touched on in the last podcast. This is the start of what seems to be a very good week for Florida with some guys that are making decisions that are projected to lane in Florida's class. So this is the start of a good week. You've got Friday Night Lights coming up. You've got the cookout coming up. So all smiles in Gator Nation for this one. This is just the first of, what could be 3 for sure guys who have set a date, announced on there, they're going to make a date and look like Florida is the pick for them. So good start for the week for Florida for sure.
Well, you heard it here from 247 Sports Swamp 247 recruiting analyst Blake Alderman. And that'll do it for this commitment breakdown. Make sure you keep it locked on our YouTube page for plenty more content, including podcasts, these videos, and more. Also check us out at swamp247.com. We've got plenty of written content, both of this recruitment, the ones to come, and plenty of other stuff. And that'll do it for us. For Blake Alderman, I'm Jacob Rudner, and we'll see you on the next show.